Hello there everyone, and welcome to another review video. I am right now taking a look at the Snide action figure from the Power Rangers Dino Supercharge line. This was a figure that came out in 2016 with the Dino Charge toy line. Well, Dino Supercharge to be more specific, since Snide was a villain that appeared in the Supercharge season. He was not in the first season, well, except for that little scene at the end of, what's the episode? Not the Christmas episode, but the episode where Sledge's ship crashes down. I can't remember what it was called. Oh, it was called One More Energem. That was what it was called. You know, the little scene where he just peeks out of his cell and says, "It's my turn now." Yeah, that's the first scene of him, and then he appears quite a lot often in Dino Supercharge as one of the main villains of the series. So, Snide right here is he is an armored themed villain, and he was the result of Heckle touching the Dark Energem and creating Snide as his evil other half. Yeah, throughout Dino Supercharge, Heckle and Snide are within a single body, and they switch in between one another with, you know, it's kind of like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, which their names are actually based around, you know, Heckle being Dr. Jekyll and Snide being Mr. Hyde. So pretty much it would be Dr. Heckle and Mr. Snide. Yeah, because that's exactly what the whole situation is. But of course there is that point in the episode Freaky Fight Day where Snide asks Arcanon to split him and Heckle apart. And, well, when they were fused together, there was some symbol on Snide's head, as well as also on Heckle's head, you know, that showed this sort of symbol, much like the one on Snide's upper head. There was one on the side of his head, you know, that would, like, glow whenever they switched between who was in control. But, you know, after they split apart, that symbol just disappeared because they were no longer fused. And I could see that Snide here, the figure, does not have that symbol, which indicates that this is Snide after he was split apart from Heckle. And, you know, I guess that would probably confuse early viewers because these figures were actually out before that episode even aired. So, you know, like, there's some kid who's watching Dino Supercharge, the early episodes, when they are first airing, and he sees that symbol on Snide's head. Then he gets the action figure, and he looks, and that symbol is not there, and he's like, wait, where's that sort of symbol? But, you know, it makes better sense later in the series after he and Heckle are split apart. So, yeah, this is pretty much probably the first time since the older figures where I've gotten, you know, an actual American Power Rangers action figure rather than a Japanese one, where the Japanese figures don't have all of this movability in their arms. One example here is Guy Sorg from Ryu Soldier, who is actually very similar to Snide, as they are both armored-themed villains, although the figures in Power Rangers are much smaller than those in Super Sentai, but the Power Rangers figures are, you know, they have more flexibility, although there are some Sentai figures that have flexibility as well, but there aren't many of them. So, there's that. So, taking a look at Snide right here, he is a villain that is mostly in this dark blue color, maybe a little blackish, kind of a blackish blue, much rather, but I'm kind of seeing a little of blue on this guy, as well as also some silver as well. So, something that quite a number of fans had noticed about Snide when he first appeared in Dino Supercharge is that he happens to have some resemblance to a villain called Zeltrax, who appeared in Power Rangers Dino Thunder like over a decade before Dino Charge. And the whole reason for that is because, well, I'm sure some people will know about it, but in case you don't, the whole reason is because in the Super Sentai series, Snide is a recreated version of Zeltrax. There's also a recreated version of Goldar, who ends up not getting used, but, you know, since they are actually going to have a dinosaur team-up special in Beast Morphers next year, there is a chance that they may finally use the reincarnated Goldar, but I don't think they probably shouldn't even use the recreated version of Zeltrax, because they already have with Snide. But I think that they could go ahead and use the Neo Gryffindor suit in the Beast Morphers team up with the dinosaur-themed Rangers, because it would actually make good sense to have only a Neo Goldar. You know, considering that Dino Charge is not the current team in that team-up special like they were in Koyuger, because they were adapting seasons out of order, because if they had adapted seasons in order, we would have gotten Beast Morphers before Dino Charge, because the Sentai series had it happen that way. And, you know, they probably would not make sense if they brought in a Neo version of Zeltrax, because then you'd also not have a villain representing Dino Charge. Although technically you would, since there is Snide right here. But I think that would work if they only had Goldar, a Neo Goldar for the Beast Morphers special, because Goldar was one of the first villains in Power Rangers, so it probably would work out to have just a representation of him and not any other villain that appeared in Power Rangers before. Now, over on Snide's chest, he happens to have the sort of red coloring right here, and that is where a tentacle comes out. We did see the tentacle wrap around Poisandra from his jail cell, but we did not see Snide himself. But then in the episode Freaky Fight Day, we actually do see it come out of Snide's chest and grabs hold of Singe. So it's not used very often, and the Snide said, "I use it on special occasions." So that is my review on the Snide action figure from the Power Rangers Dino Charge line. Not sure if I will actually get more of these figures to look over. I just personally got Snide because he happens to be one of my favorite villains from Dino Supercharge, as well as with Power Rangers overall. And one more thing that I should point out is that Snide actually uses a very different weapon, just this sort of sword right here. While in the Japanese version, he used this axe and shield, which was very much like Zeltrax's axe and shield, because Snide was a new version of Zeltrax. But my guess is the reason why they changed that in Power Rangers was to be sure that Snide was a completely different entity from Zeltrax, because there's no references to Zeltrax in Dino Supercharge whatsoever. And, you know, I guess it would make all that much sense, considering that Dino Charge was confirmed as of Dimensions in Danger to be its own separate dimension, rather than it being a part of the main Power Rangers universe, which a lot of fans speculated before it was officially confirmed, and it just turned out to be true. Alright, so that is my review video on the Snide action figure. Oh, I did also bring in my vinyl figure of Koyu Red, just for a bit of a comparison. And you know, It's like, Snide, you're back? You're so short now. Snide is like, ah! I'm short! I shrunk! So anyway, thank you for watching, and I will see you again next time.